Call the meeting order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Myers. Washington. Here. Here.
All right, move to item number 2, public comment. All questions or comments will be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on topics on agenda items only. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. Anyone wants to comment? All right. Yeah, can you get someone to turn off the mic? Yeah.
I have these forms here to pass out amongst the trustees.
I'm sorry.
I have these forms here to pass out amongst the trustees to adopt a road.
All right, that's not on the agenda, but afterwards you can pass it out to the trustees and get with them individually.
Okay, that's what I wanted to find out.
All right.
I didn't think it was on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda, sorry.
Well, I don't have anything for that.
All right, well, thank you very much. All right, anyone else? All right, so we'll move to reports from officers. We got the mayor's reports. Been pretty busy this week, meeting with WINPAC on the WINPAC expansion. Been working with ComEd on some issues there. Met with our Ron Bernardine and Associates, met with them this last week on the finances of the village, where we're at on our bonds and things like that. So been pretty busy this week. But, we've got Halloween coming up on Saturday, so I want to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween. Be careful with the kids out there. There's a lot of events happening during the day on Saturday, and a lot of people are going to talk about it. Parks and Rec has got the event going on, and the Church of God's got an event going on for trunk and treat on both of those. The trunk and treat hours are like 4 to 6. So it's going to be a full day on Saturday. You'll see kids probably everywhere. I know they got the parade happening. So if you have your kids, your grandkids, make sure they come out. There's a lot of events happening in Sauk Village on Saturday. So with that said, move to Village Clerk, Ms. Debbie Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'm happy to report that the rain barrels are in the process of being delivered. And just so you're aware, there's been a few changes in the process. Number one, they changed the color on us. Okay, the terracotta is not really terracotta, it's actually quite orange. And that was the last minute since they changed vendors. The whole process was that the village had to sign an intergovernmental agreement with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. After that agreement was signed, the MWRD actually changed vendors. And when they changed vendors at the last minute, they changed the colors. I think the other colors are pretty comparable, and the style of the rain barrel is a little bit different too. So I hope that everybody still is appreciative of the fact that these are free, and that the MWRD is just trying to help us all conserve water and to help us to water our flowers and plants and grass with rainwater instead of using Sauk Village water, and also to help take your water away from the storm sewer. So if anybody is just totally dissatisfied with the color of their rain barrel, we'll see what we can do. But the number for the MWRD, if you have any questions, is 312-751-5600. Once the village signed the intergovernmental agreement and sent the order to the MWRD, it was really out of our hands after that. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to call us, 312-751-5600. And second of all, the Sauk Village 3rd Annual Resource Fair will be happening on Thursday, November 5th from 3 to 8 p.m. We have several people coming to talk to us about housing and health and other resources that the village residents can take advantage of. This is not only for Sauk Village residents, so if you know anybody who can take advantage of any of these programs, there's a flyer in the back. This is open to everybody, so please invite as many people as you would like to our resource fair. And I'm sure Trustee Williams is going to be reporting on some things that we're going to be working in partnership with me and the Public Relations and Community Outreach Partnership. The boxes for the food drive and for the toy drive will probably now be out in the hallway until next week. The box that you see in the hall right now is from Sauk. There's actually a Sauk Village resident who's working to get some help towards a scholarship program, and she's asking people to donate new socks, which will be donated to a shelter. That box will probably be removed by Friday. So if anybody could please, if you stop at the store, Dollar Store has them for $1 a pair. If you could pick up a few pair of socks and throw them in that box, we would greatly appreciate it, because that box will be removed by Friday. Trustee Myers asked me to report in his absence that he is hoping to provide an ordinance to the board this weekend for the rain barrels. Unfortunately, the rain barrel ordinance was held up before the rain barrels were delivered. It was not able to be completed, but it is my goal to make sure that we touch every resident who's getting a rain barrel by phone or by copy of the ordinance to let them know what's expected when they pick up their rain barrel is delivered. And lastly, there's been a lot of talk lately about hand checks and last-minute checks that are being written and signed. And I just want to go on record as saying that I will not be signing any more hand checks until the board develops policy. And I hope that that's going to be very soon. Because if you take into effect that between now and the end of the year, we only have 2 more board meetings where accounts payable will be approved. So there's often times, and I can totally understand the reason why I have been asked to sign hand checks in the past, since the day I first took this office. And I've always done it under the direction of the mayor, the finance director, and the needs of the residents. I've always gone ahead and done exactly what has always been past practice. But from this day forward, I want to go on record, I will not sign any more hand checks until there's a policy. And again, I hope that's very, very soon, because we have a lot of weeks coming up where we will not be meeting, particularly from the middle of December to the second week of January. So please, I hope the board takes that into effect when they consider how fast they're going to create a policy and what we need to do. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
All right, we move to the village attorney, Attorney Michael Graff.
Thank you, Mayor.
The village engineer.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I have something that I wanted to present to the attorney and also to the board regarding corporate counsel. I just wanted to hand this out. I just wanted to do it when your turn. I'm not looking for an answer right now. I am looking for a written answer within the next 30 days. But it's self-explanatory. So I just wanted to pass this out right now.
All right. Mr. Zarnik.
Thank you, Mayor. Sauk Village applied to the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning for funding to conduct a new comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan would seek to establish guidelines for future growth and economic advancement of the community. This plan would encompass areas of interest including land use patterns, housing conditions, population, roadways, and other infrastructure issues, as well as other important community elements such as recreational and governmental facilities and services. The village would expect the comprehensive plan to help dictate public policy in regards to economic development, transportation, utilities, land use, recreation, and housing. This would be an update to the village's last comprehensive plan, which was last amended in 1999. Unfortunately, as these things go, we were informed that the village did not receive funding for the comprehensive plan. Some of the reasons that Sauk Village's application was not approved include the fact that 70 applications were submitted and only 22 were funded. CMAP chose to fund projects that were first in future phases of previously approved funding efforts. Second, projects at a regional scale that involve multiple municipalities. And third, are innovative. Sauk Village applied to prepare a comprehensive plan, which is really not something that fits the above criteria, so unfortunately they didn't get funded. We had hoped that the village's lack of financial resources would have improved the village's chances for funding, but it was not that much of a factor. But we are currently in the process of exploring other funding options through Cook County to finance the comprehensive plan, and we're praying for
Move to Village Administrator, Director of Public Safety, J.W. Fairman Jr.
Mr. Mayor and the Board of Trustees, I want to comment on what Mrs. Zarnick just said. I had also talked to one of the representatives from the group that actually approves or disapproves the grant, and they thought the application was well written, and they made also, in addition to what he said, made their decision based on their staff's availability and numbers to be able to do that big of a project also. They asked us to concentrate on the smaller, more specific thing next year, a specific project next year with respect to that grant. My report also includes, I want to talk about, the biggest problem that we have, and everybody knows this in this village, the elephant in the room is blight. We have been working with the Housing Authority, with my assistant with Mohan, and there's a direct correlation between vacant housing, no water accounts, and uniform crime reporting. What we're doing is we're trying to provide an update master list and no water account list complete with PIN numbers. And then we're going to do a uniform crime reporting address list in correlation to crime to the master vacant water list. And that's going to correlate with what Chief of Police will respond to this. Later on, we're going to start targeting areas where these type of activities occur. What this identifies is property owners who owe us delinquent funds or owe the village delinquent funds. We're going to target areas to reduce criminal activity. It gives the board and trustees the ability to provide staff, us, the legislative tools to reduce blight, collect debt, and reduce debt and reduce crime. What it offers the village is the village bond authority proof that the village has started a proactive approach to financial recovery through efforts to increase property valuations, reduce debt services, and pare down criminal activity. Currently, blight conservatively contributes to approximately a loss of $575,000 annually in water revenue, more than $2.5 million annually in housing valuation. That is, an example, if a house was $80,000, it goes down to $40,000, and you have a certain number of them, the amount or the value of those houses increase. And we are constantly working on this project going forward. There's probably $250,000 annually in revenues due to criminal activity, and obviously that's got to do with our resources with the police department. All of our efforts, or most of our efforts, will be focused on this eradication of blight. My office had the control of blight as the #1 mission. Very soon, staff will finish work on the village master vacant water list and the uniform crime list. Once completed, staff will begin to regulate that information. We will partner with the Board of Trustees by recommending exact legislation to assist staff in their efforts. We expect to begin to see results as early as the first quarter of 2013. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much. Move to reports of trustees and board committees, Beautification Committee. Beautification Committee's report is Beautification Committee would like to thank Bob and Rose Ketchum, Heidi, and Edmund Parker, Jack, Todd, Tracy Witt, Jeanette Barron, and the Boy Scout Troops of 152, and the Person Hanks family, and also State Representative L.G. Sim for assisting in the event on October 17th to clean various locations in Sauk Village. It was a brisk morning, but that did not stop the volunteers. The committee would also like to thank Trustee Calvin Jones for collecting scrap and donating the money to the Beautification Committee. The committee is looking for volunteers to assist in decorating the Village Hall for Christmas. It will take place on November 29th at 9:30 a.m. The committee's next meeting is November the 18th at 10 a.m. here at the Village Hall, and they will be discussing the upcoming fundraisers for 2016. And there's the report. Move to Parks and Recs, Trustee Jones.
Well, first off, I want to make sure that safety is #1 as far as Halloween. And as of right now, we didn't put anything up as far as peanut allergies or anything. So make sure your child is aware of the peanut allergies and everything, because there wasn't any guidelines put in for that this year. Next year, I'm going to make sure to make certain that we have a allergy safe zone, peanut allergy safe zone or so. And for the costumes, make sure your kids' vision, they can see very well out of it, and make sure that the length, that they don't step on it, so they can walk safely without tripping. And The trunk or treat will start 1 to 4, and that's Saturday, October 31st, starting at Rickover Junior High and marching down to the community center. And also, Parks and Recs will be represented at the 5th Annual Community Fest, and that will be held at Rickover Junior High Gym Room. That's Tuesday, November 3rd, 2015. And that concludes my report.
All right, Public Works Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met, Public Works Committee met, and it was recommended that we look over a couple of ordinances that we have currently on the books. And the one we were presented with was ordinance number 94-4. And I do have copies for everyone today. Our recommendation is to, of the 3 ordinances that were presented, 3 sections out of that ordinance that were presented, we chose to amend section D in ordinance 94-4, and it reads, the owner or mortgager of any property receiving water provided through the village's waterworks system and or sewer service provided through the village's sewer system is liable to pay for charges for the provision of water and or sewer service to their property, which means that the owners of these properties or the mortgager would be the bank or the investor, the water bill will go into that name instead of the resident. So that's something I'm going to present to the ordinance committee, and I have copies here if you pass them down. Every trustee and village clerk to look at, and I'm sure after trustee Myers gets a look at it, he'll present it to the lawyers to make sure. Our next meeting will be the 2nd Wednesday of November. And that's my report. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely have to take a look, make sure it doesn't supersede state statute. Because I know by state statute, I think the owners of the property are already responsible. Just to make sure we're not superseding. So I'm sure the lawyers are looking for that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I wanted the ordinance to be, the water to be in the owner's name, not the resident.
We just have to make sure that as a non-home rule community, we can enforce that.
Okay.
So. All right, move to Housing and Intergovernmental Committee Trustee Takes.
Thank you. The Housing Committee met earlier this month to finalize plans for the seminar, which we had on the 22nd of this month. Excuse me. The participants in the seminar, visitors to Sauk Village, it was well attended. It was a good demonstration. It was divided into 2 parts. We found some people just came to get information from one part but not the other, so we had a constant flow of people in and out. But it was well attended. We also had 3 residents from Indiana who want to purchase homes here in Sauk Village. So that was a plus that they came out to hear about the program that we were presenting, to get information that will assist them in hopefully in purchasing homes in Sauk Village. So it was a well-attended affair, and we didn't have any complications. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Booth. Neighborhood Watch Committee Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to remind everybody that our next meeting will be on November the 9th, the 2nd Monday of November at 7 o'clock at the fire station, and we will be hosting a deputy registrar's class. So if you want to be a deputy registrar, or you know someone that's interested in registering people to vote, they can come and they can give me their information. I need their name and their phone number so that when our representative comes from David Orr's office, he will have a packet for them, and the class is free. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Budget, Finance, and Community Relations Committee Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just as a reminder, we are still continuing to sell candy bars, and we just got our decals, so we will be putting cans around the village to ask for financial donations at local area stores for the Shop with the Cop program, and we're also still accepting donations for the Shop with the Cop program. And then as far as the Budget and Finance Committee, as I know we talked about this last week, I still waiting to kind of see where we're going with that, so we can have a meeting. Because as the village clerk did say, we're not gonna be having a meeting every Tuesday for the rest of the year. So we only have a couple, so I just want to make sure that we all know that there's going to be bills that have to be paid, and there's going to be things that have to be done. So we need to kind of put this in order. And like I said last week, I kind of want to get this put in bed by January, because I don't know what's going to happen after January. I might be a little busy in February, so I'd really like to get started on this as soon as possible. Thanks. That's all I have.
Thank you, Justin. The three reports, departments, committees, commissions, Fire Department 911 Commission, Chief Stopper.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Over the past 4 weeks, fire department responded to 20 calls. 3 fire alarms, 1 dumpster fire, 1 spill alarm, 1 smell of gas, 1 assist to PD, 3 vehicle accidents, 3 medical assists, 3 assists to other agencies, 2 CO investigations, and 1 owner investigation, 1 gas leak. I would like the mayor and the board see if they would exercise or think about fire department helping us a lot right on the streets of college. Everybody's out for the safety. It's the safety of the kids. And I know that the kids will run all over the streets and go for the hands. So we got a presence out there to slow the people down.
I think it'd be a great idea.
I'm not sure everybody in the audience knows that we had a fire over the weekend. I can't relate to it or talk about it other than it was turned over to the state fire marshal and ATL. As soon as we get answers from them, we want to make the mayor and the board of trustees and the public know what's going on. And that's my report.
All right, thank you. Move to Public Works Department. Sorry. Administrative Services Director Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things. I think the village manager meant to say 2016 in his report. But anyways, just to clarify that. To touch base on what Mr. Fairman was talking about, Cindy and myself have been working on purging her vacant list with the vacancies that I have in my PFS system. That's a system that I use daily. It gets updated when people turn their water on and shut it off. It's a big process, and I'm hoping to have it done for Mr. Reed and Fairman by the end of next week, so we can have an accurate list of vacant homes in Sauk Village. Gerald Pike is working on a new FOIA sheet that's going to be put up on the webpage for everybody who's requesting FOIAs. They need to quit using my personal email. It's saukvillage.org, and that will go into my work email address. And we're going to start posting all the FOIA questions and responses on the webpage to eliminate duplicating FOIAs that I've been receiving. And I was trying to get you guys a number for the tickets for next week's court, but Gerald hasn't done the rollover. And I know it's probably well over 250, because last month we had quite a bit, and it superseded that. So next board meeting, I'll give you the count of that. She has rolled 141 tickets so far this month, and water bills for the north side will be run on Friday and mailed out on Monday, and they will be due on November 23rd. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Move to Finance Director, Mr.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. There are a couple of things. Today I got an email from Illinois State Comptroller that they have processed about $694 for local debt recovery program. The money should be here pretty $654. That is the first installment.
For what?
Debt recovery.
$654 for the local debt recovery program. Secondly, the Enterprise Zone public meeting will be held in the village of Sauk Village Meeting Hall on 29th between 9 and 11 a.m. Most of the publics are invited to attend for the Enterprise Zone meeting. The reason for the meeting is expansion of Sauk Village, Ford Heights, and into Chicago Heights Enterprise Zone that will cover a perimeter of approximately about 15 miles. there will be a meeting between 9 and 11 a.m. on 29th. The third is the audit for police as well as fire pension will be done pretty soon according to our village treasurer, Mr. Jim Grigel, and hopefully we should be able to get our audit wrapped up and completed by the end of December 31st of 2015. I have already taken an extension of about 60 days, so it should be due well before the end of this year. I would request the board and the mayor to approve a transfer of about $350,000 from water sewer account into general fund. Even though we have about $170,000 approximately, we need to have a little bit more money to, it's always, this is the time that the general fund will run out of funds and we need to transfer. Eventually the funds will be retransferred back from general fund when we get the tax levy funding into general fund. The third is, the final thing is, the treasurer's report is being published in the newspaper. Once the publication is certified by the village clerk, it will be reported to both Will and Cook County pretty soon. That ends my report.
Thank you. Trustee?
Yeah, Mohan, we received this memorandum that you sent out. I was kind of have some questions about that. I just need clarity. Are you asking the 911 board to pay the $22,000?
Absolutely.
And then the village board or the village is going to pay the bond payment of $75,000 in December?
December, yes.
Okay. Who usually pays that $75,000?
Normally, it should be paid by 50% by 911 board and other 50% by utility fund taxes collected.
Okay, because I'm just wondering, the reason that you're asking for this money to be transferred is part of that for that $75,000?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was looking at, if they pay the 75 normally and we pay the 22, you're reversing that. I mean, I'm just looking at why are they paying this out? Why are they paying it? But you're saying that you're going to use the money that is going to be, hopefully be transferred by the board.
$22,500 is going to be used for calipers.
Yeah, right, I know what it's for. I'm just looking at the turnaround, I'm looking at how you're changing it, that 911 would pay a little bit more, and now they're just going to pay 22.
No, 911 is paying only $22,500.
No, I'm talking about before today. I'm talking about before.
Before that, it used to be paid, 50% was to be paid by 911, and another 50% was to be paid by utility fund. Now, since this year onwards, I have lumped all together that needs to be paid by utility fund entire. In actuality, it is paid by general fund.
Okay. I just wanted some clarity because you're switching right. It was a good deal. I'm not knocking anything, but it was a good deal. If we, it seems like now we're paying the whole brunt. We're paying the whole 75, and I guess this is coming from a transfer. I didn't know that you was trying to transfer.
No, it is entirely coming from, even though it is transferred.
Right.
We are going to transfer it back to general.
Correct. But right now,
we
don't have the money to transfer. Yeah. And my next question: how many times have we transferred out of the water fund this year?
Not many times. Only once. 22,000 or something.
Oh, this is okay. Besides, we never transferred it. This is the first time that we transferred. Well,
nothing has been transferred from water sewer fund to general fund.
This is just the second time. And you're asking for a vote tonight?
Yep.
And also you're asking for a vote for this tonight too?
I think we need a vote.
There's no need of vote. It was formally transferred. Just finance director used to request for the transfer. That's all. There's no need of vote.
You should have a vote on transferring money out of one fund to another. Is that right, my attorney? Shouldn't you have a vote to transfer because that's what the auditors recommended, that we have a paper trail, that we vote on any money transferred out of a set fund. This is the earmarked fund. So, I mean, I thought maybe that's what you were asking for.
No, most communities just do it, they make it part of the record, so it's in the minutes, so you know that it's been transferred, and then it'll be paid back when you get whatever funding you get to pay it back. Either tax revenue, sales tax, or other monies from the state.
Okay, so you're not asking for a vote for either one?
No.
But you did ask for us to okay the 22,000.
Yes.
But how are we going to okay
That's
it if we don't
because
take a
it's
vote?
entirely different board. That's why I'm asking.
How are we going to take a vote? I'm sorry, how are you going to transfer, I still don't understand, how are you going to transfer the 22,000 from general fund to pay for, the 75,000 to pay for that bond?
There's no vote, trustee.
There's no vote for 22,000 either,
The
Mayor?
22,500 is coming from the 911 fund, correct?
I understand that.
So that is not part of the village, that's a totally different fund. So I think the memo is, I think it's probably worded, could have been worded a little bit better, was informing the village that the 911 fund is going to pick up the 22,500, whatever it is, for the capers bill, and the village will, at the end of this year, pay for the, is it the bond? I don't have the memo from me, for what, 77,000?
So therefore, you don't need to take a vote?
No.
Then why would we set this?
Again, I think he was just informing you, and it probably could have worded a little bit different.
Biggest thing behind this whole memorandum, a couple of weeks ago, you guys stopped all the accounts payable because whatever that, used your money.
Use the mic, please.
Said a couple of weeks ago, you tabled all the accounts payable, there's a lot of issues.
The board did. I didn't.
Correct. From the 911 committee, we had no problems with the 22.5, but the letter and the memorandum that we received said to the mayor and the board.
I think it was poorly worded. I think it was supposed to be informing the mayor and the board. Again, it was brought to my attention earlier tonight. So it's just poorly worded. It's informing the mayor and the board about the 911 fund paying the 22.5, I think it is, and the village board was going to be responsible, or the village was going to pick up the other 70-some thousand, rather than splitting it half and half.
Well, that was the reason behind sending the letter back. Get the signatures, everybody's in agreement with it, I've got no problem, but I have to have a piece of paper, put in that 911 file, for a year down the road, you know, nothing about this.
Right, and I think another reason is, it's part of the record tonight, so you got this as part of the record.
And that was the whole thing in a nutshell.
Mayor, you said it's part of the record, but you said it doesn't have to have a vote.
Correct.
I mean, me for one, I have a problem with saying that the board of trustees okayed something and we never took a vote or anything about it. I personally have a problem with that. But I'm just one person. But you know, if you're gonna include the trustees in anything, it should be a vote or some type of a nod or something that the trustees go along with it, not just add board. The mayor and the board of trustees agreed to, and that's what this is saying. The board of trustees and the mayor agreed to it. If we didn't ask the board if that's okay, then how can we agree to something that we never had any say so?
Anything else?
So is that going to be changed? Or this is still
I'll take a look at the memo again. I don't have any problem. But what it was is informing the board about what was going to happen. So.
Well, my question is that if the board is not voting on anything, then is the wording of the letter that's needed going to be changed to reflect that the board did not vote on it?
So it should read, please note, Mayor and Board of Trustees, if 911 system pays the current keeper software invoice in the amount of $22,500, the village will pick up the above bond payment of $75,900 that's due on 12/1/2015. Please let me know if you have any questions. So it should, right there we had that per, those two words should have been out there. But again, it's informing the board that if 911 pays this, that the village is going to be responsible for $75,000. That's come out to the board of trustees. If you have any questions, we'll see Mr.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm asking because this said the board of trustees. And that's why I was asking this question. Because the board of trustees are here now. So you're asking, in essence, you just read it, that you're asking that the board goes along with this particular statement. And I haven't heard anything that says they will or will not go along with this particular statement. And if they did a letter stating that we went along with it and we never even voted on it, I don't understand that.
Because we're not spending any money. So the money will not be spent until December.
But we're making an agreement that's going to go into their file stating that we agreed to pay X amount of money by such due date.
Right.
Okay, well, me for one, I don't agree on something that I don't have a chance to at least vote on it. I'm not going to agree to give somebody any amount of money or make any agreement to something that I'm not allowed to at least take a vote on to find out or to okay, even though yes, we do need it. If he needs a copy of the agreement or he needs a copy from the board stating that it's okay, I would think that he would need it also. So when you guys put this together, please put on that letter that Trustee Burgess did not go along with this specifically because there was no vote taken.
And just so we make sure we're very clear, there is no vote taken because there's no money being spent. And the vote will be taken when time to pay this in December. That's when the vote will be taken.
But this is a contract, Mayor. This states that we will pay the above amount on that day. I don't know what else we can, how more you can make it clear. It says we will pay this amount on that day. And if anyone signs on that without a vote, then, I mean, because we, as you said, 12/1, we may not even have a meeting before then or whatever. We may not even have the money before then. But we're going to transfer money over. That's why I asked Mohan. But, but we still have, but you
saying, trustee, you don't want to pay the bond payment?
I don't want to pay anything unless I vote, unless it's voted on, Mayor. I'm not going to just take money out of an account or pay something without at least a vote. At least a vote. And you said you're not going to take a vote.
We're not taking any money out.
You are taking money out to pay. Where you going to get $75,000 from? Where we going to get it?
The board will vote on it in December when it comes time to pay.
What happens if we don't have this money come December? We're still stuck with it. This is a promissory note, Mayor. This is a promissory note. You're saying that you will. And the lawyer sitting next to you, you're saying that you will pay this. You give them a date and amount. I don't know about anybody else, but when you give a date and amount to anybody that's paying something, they expect that money by that time. You give it okay that you will do this. I'm sorry, that you and the board will do this. And all I'm asking is, since you don't want to take a vote, I'm not going to agree to something like that without a vote. Because I think it needs to be, I don't care, we're not paying anything. It says that we will pay that day. Why are we waiting until the last minute? We got a whole month and something to do. I don't want to have an immediate check on that also.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Move to Homeland Security Assistant Director Armin Darnell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the last 4 weeks, he has responded to 11 calls. He has the department responded to 2 fire alarms, 1 vehicle accident, 1 dumpster fire, 3 sealed alarms, 3 school patrols, and 1 structure fire. Additionally, I wanted to let the board know that the police chief has requested as a patrol Friday and Saturday night, day before Halloween and Halloween, from 7 to 11. And Parks and Recreation has requested us to assist with their parade from River to Sauk. I have a letter.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Move to Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Williams. Thank you, sir. Move to Housing Commission, Commissioner Holcomb.
12th rather, in the Village Hall at 7 p.m. As far as the report goes, you all have a copy of it. I am pleased to report that the project started 3 years ago and that lost all funding in April of this year was turned around. When we were notified in April that no funds would be provided for demolition, we decided then that we wouldn't give up. The commission decided to fight back and not let this hold us back. As of year to date, the commission has attended 80 meetings, spent more than 3,000 man-hours, and countless reams of paper and ink to do what everyone tried to stop. With the assistance of many village employees and administrative staff, we are finally there. Starting tomorrow morning, the Sheriff's Department will begin demolition of 21636 Peterson, and then 21638 and 21640 Peterson. Once those three are removed, they will move down to 21734 and tear it down. As the permits were approved late yesterday for these four properties, it goes through a state approval or county approval before they can actually start tearing them down. I know up front people will complain, why not the house by them or this one or that one. It's simple. They all need to understand it cannot happen overnight. And there is no way they will see the homes disappear in one motion. The present project is, if no one interferes with the process, will take 2.5 to 3 years to complete. Many factors come into play on deciding which properties come first. Safety, hazard, crime, fire damage. People also need to understand there's a cost to taxpayers in all of this. Some things we are reimbursed for after pay, so we have to pay first. For others, we have to pay the bill. A good example of this was when Derek Burgess and Cecil Tate attended the housing meeting on this project last month, and when I stated that Republic quoted $800 per dumpster plus overweight charges if over 4 tons. Both trustees said that has to be something that could be worked out with Republic and that they would address it for housing. The following board meeting, Derek Burgess informed me that he was told that we would be able to get 3 dumpsters per property for $1,000. Today, Kevin made contact with Republic. They told him the first dumpster will be $350, and each additional dumpster will be $325, saving us over $475 per dumpster. A real big thank you has to go to the Housing Commissioners, Ed Myers, J.W. Furman, Derek Burgess, Cecil Tate, Kevin, Sherry, and Sue for all the legwork and assistance they provided the Housing Commission on this project.
Thank you very much. To the Senior Committee Chairperson Rose Langston.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Senior Committee's Friday Open Senior Activity will be held on the first and third Friday in the month of November and December. That's November 6th and 20th, December 4th and 18th. In January 2016, the committee will be holding senior open activity every Friday. Committee members Frank Williams and Steve Shimkins are coordinators for the committee's Sauk Village Open Senior Activity. We have a variety of games available for seniors, and they may bring their own if desired. The Rummy Pub game has created quite a challenge for the participant, and there is plenty of room for more challengers. Beverly Starrett continues the Silver Sneaker Fitness Program classes at 10 and 11:15 every Tuesday. The Ceramics Group have changed their hours to 8 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. Our paperback book program continues to thrive. The movie co-sponsored with McConaughey Library is Yours, Mine, and Ours at the library on Monday, November 9th at 12:30. Light refreshments will be served. The next Boone Township Senior Community Lunch is on Tuesday, November 10th at Glenwood Golf Club. Ticket deadline is on November 6th unless sold out. The theme is Made in USA. Is a tribute to our veterans and patriot tunes provided by Steve Liddell. They are also collecting non-perishable food donations for the Christmas basket and will be collected at this luncheon. Just a reminder, open enrollment or re-enrollment period for Medicare Part D begins October 15th through December 7th. Counseling is available Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on first-come basis. For appointment and additional information, you may call 708-754-9400 extension 244. The Senior Committee's next meeting will be on Thursday, November 12th at 7 p.m. Thank you. This ends my report.
All right, thank you very much. Move to new business. 6A, motion to approve the accounts payable disbursements for items that were tabled on October 13th. Accounts payable on the October 13th board agendas. Motion to approve. Motion and a second. Motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee.
Are these the immediate checks that we talked about?
Yes.
They're already paid, aren't they? Aren't they sent out and paid? Why are we voting on them after they've been paid?
We always vote on, so hand checks are always voted on.
I'm just wondering why do we need a vote if they've been paid and they were, what do you call it? They were voted on when they were given to the board at that time. And the consensus was no, but I'm just wondering now why are we voting on something that's already been paid? It's just my question.
I know the board asked for additional information. That's another reason why it was tabled. The board has received that information. Trustee Williams provided everything at the last board meeting. Wanted to know what accounts everything was taken out of. She provided detailed information to the board last Tuesday.
Weren't those samples of what was going to be done by the budget?
That was a sample going forward, but used based off of the information that was tabled the prior week. So everything was in detail on where the money was coming from, what accounts, where it was being spent.
Okay, and that covered the immediate checks portion of it?
Correct.
They use that as the data to create the actual format. They use those immediate checks. The only thing that, from my understanding, that was an issue, that was a suggestion from that, was the account description, because it just had the account number, as Trustee Roger said. We already kind of read it all along, but everything, the items that were on there were the immediate checks.
But my question still, we paid the immediate checks were paid without the board's consent. And there was an itemization, but that itemization did not show where and what fund it came out of for those different immediate checks. Now this one, we do have a itemization of where they come out, but I do have a problem with that, which I'll discuss at the next line item. But what was told, she explained what the checks are written for. That's what the explanation were, what the checks were for. As far as what fund it came out of, that wasn't on there.
Yes, it was, Trustee. In fact, you said, okay, it has the fund number. I can't say your exact words, but your words were, you have the fund number, but there should be a description added to this. And the trustee said, no problem, they were going to work on making sure the description was added to the fund numbers. Right? Is that
Right,
correct?
that's what I was just saying, that was, to my recollection, the only suggestion from those forms were that instead of just having the funds and the actual fund number, were that there would be a description of what the fund was.
On this invoice that we had on the 13th, it showed immediate checks and the amount. The one that Trustee Williams had showed what they were for, but did not put invoice number or, in other words, we needed an accounts payable like you're presenting tonight. That was not what was done last week. It was explained what they were used for. That's what it was explained. But there was no accountability as of what department and what department it came out of and the number of that department, which is what we put on each and every accounts payable.
They explained at that board meeting what those items were.
Yes, he did.
At that time.
But he didn't tell me.
And then, last week, with that sample, he came up with the amount, who was going to, what it was for, and the account it was coming out of.
I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
That's presented to this whole entire board last week.
I didn't see that. I did not see where the county came out. In other words, there's a number for each and every vendor and everything that we paid. It falls on the invoice number.
There was no invoice number on there, but there was the account that it was coming out of, and that's why you had stated that the only thing that you thought was instead of just putting the account number, it needed to have something, actual verbal description, as in police and fire fund, or elected officials, or whatever the actual name of the fund was, not just the numbers. So I think that, you know, I mean, I was the one that tabled immediate checks 2 weeks ago because there were questions, and I think that at the time, the finance director explained them verbally. Last week, he explained them with written format, and I thought that everybody was in agreement of that format.
No, I did not see that. I mean, last week was a committee meeting, and the only thing I saw that was presented was what you presented at the committee meeting. I didn't see anything that the village finance director presented to us. Matter of fact, he wasn't there, so.
Right,
I
that
didn't
was
see
as a result of what he created. That's what that letter that was attached to it, that's what he said. That Mr. Fairman and Mr. Rao had worked on that, and that's what they came up to as a way. There would be items that were previously approved per the budget, and then there were items that were going to be things that maybe were not previously approved by the budget, and that's why they had different headings. And those were, again, just samples, but they used the ones from the immediate checks to give even more explanation, because the explanation 2 weeks ago was just verbal, and this would have been written. That was the reason why they used those items, instead of making up fictitious immediate checks with numbers and where they were going and account numbers.
Okay, well, my question still stands. If you don't vote on it, it's paid anyway, so we can't go back and snatch the checks.
Hand checks are always voted on. If you go back, they're always voted on then first.
I think one of the things that we talked about 2 weeks ago is that it's always been a practice in Sauk Village that if there was a situation where a hand check was needed, then it would be written. But it's still part of the practices that we have to, it still has to be presented to the board, it still has to be voted on. Knowing that this was written for this reason, but for the last 10 years that I've been on the board, immediate checks have gone out. We've done come back the following account payable and pay them, which was the goal last 2 Tuesdays ago. But because there were so many questions, I myself asked to table it, and we did. So I think that we've asked the finance director twice now, or we asked him once, he presented it verbally, then he presented it a week later written. And like you said, the checks have already been gone out, but it is the practice of the village that even though they've gone out, they still have to be voted on. Which again, I'm going to stress the need to have the budget and finance committee meet, because this is not the last time we're going to have an immediate check. This is not the last time this is going to come up. And the sooner that I can have a committee meeting, the sooner I can come up with a policy and present it to the board, the sooner hopefully we'll never have to have this conversation again, because everybody will be in agreement of what's going to happen if there's a situation where we have to have an immediate check. And I'm also hoping, like I said before, to properly prepare so we don't have 15 immediate checks on one account payable totaling over $100,000.
Now, trustee, you just stated that you've been on the board for 10 years, and they've written many immediate checks. That's true. When was the last time that you saw an immediate check not even consented on? In other words, it was written, wasn't told to the trustees, didn't know ahead of time that it was paid. It was written and paid without the knowledge of the trustees. When, since you've been on the board, has that ever happened?
Quite a few times, because yeah, I remember the checks are written based off the budget. The village board approved the budget, and that's what you write your checks for. So
I can't give you a date or time that anything has happened really, but I think that this is something that has happened. We've discussed it now for 2 weeks, and in my opinion, the board has been provided with the information. Again, it was a process, a situation, and the sooner we have a policy in place, the sooner the process will be resolved. But with or without the process, there's no rewind button. The checks are out, they need to be approved, and they
Absolutely. There is no rewind button. You're absolutely right. And if it takes 10 years to do it, I want to do it right. I know this is, you've been talking about this for 2 years, maybe 2 weeks, but this is to me, this is an important process. That money is leaving without the approval or even the knowledge of the board, and money is being paid out. And now, when everything hits the fan,
budget, that the board approved.
That was not, then why do we have accounts payable, Mayor? If we approved the budget, then why are we voting on this right now? Why are we voting on accounts payable if it was approved by the budget? The reason why we vote on accounts payable and we find out that we have the money so we don't overspend.
Trustee, how many times do you approve accounts payable where the village employees have already been paid and benefits have already been paid?
All the time.
That's twice a month.
All the time.
Twice a month.
I have no problem with that. That's employees. I have a problem with the different vendors and what we're paying and pick and choose who we pay or who we not pay. I think we should at least know, not just write a check because it's long overdue. There's some vendors that they haven't got paid in 3 weeks. I'm sorry, 6 weeks. There's vendors that didn't pay you have one sitting next to you that got paid in 7 months. So you pick and choose. I'm just saying that I have a problem with any money being paid out of our coffers without our knowledge and without our board approval.
So based on that, we stop paying employees every other week?
No, sir.
Until you get the opportunity
don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that.
That's exactly what you're saying.
I know I did not.
Yes, you are. You know, it's pick and choose what you just got done saying.
We pick and choose anyway, Mayor. We pick and choose anyway.
Prior to me voting on it, you get to pick and choose.
We pick and choose anyway. There's been many meetings, all we could pay was the employees. You remember those meetings? All we had, with all the money we had was for the employees, and we had to borrow that. You've been in meetings for that. So yes, we have picked and choose. That's what you do. You can't pay everything because you won't have a dime like we're at now. We got to borrow again because we didn't have the money. You have to pick and choose.
You asked how many accounts payables have you seen come across?
Yes, I did.
That has already been paid before the village.
Absolutely.
Twice a month, you vote through accounts payable for village employees to get paid prior to you voting on it.
And so the money's not there?
And
the money's not there? So you're saying that the money is not, we're voting on something and the money may not be there?
The money's already been spent, your employees have already been paid, and benefits have already been paid.
So that means the money's there?
And they were, so what are you saying?
I'm saying, when you have accounts payable, someone somewhere had to pick and choose which ones are going to be paid. Somebody had to make that decision, yourself or someone.
Every time you approve accounts payable, someone chose what needed to be paid and it was paid.
Yes.
Every 2 weeks.
I understand that. But this particular time, it was not informed. There was no information. And I'm asking, and this is what I'm talking about. There were some things on that last one that was not, there is no, this one we have some invoice numbers, but on some of them, I'll bring that up at the next one we get ready to get down to the next one. But we need, I can't vote on something that I don't know nothing about. We just got to talk about the fireman's fund or the 911. I can't vote on something that has already been paid without the authority of this board. Because if it comes back that we're going to have this and that, first day you made this statement yourself. If we run out or we can't pay bills or we can't do such and such, whose fault is it? And you said it's the board's fault. If we go over a budget, you said the board votes that money out. If they go over budget, it's their fault. You made that statement.
And trustee, we pay the bills according to the budgets that were passed.
But someone has to make the decision, Mayor. Somebody has to make that decision to pay this one and pay that one.
But I think that until we have a policy put in place.
But that policy, until we be broke by then.
Regardless, until we have a policy in place, it's like for next line items. It has payroll, net, and liabilities. And it has an amount, and it says total payroll 10/16/2015.
I can read that. It's not about.
Well, the village residents can't read it because they don't have it.
Already paid. This is from 10/16. Our employees are already paid. These are checks that have been put out. These are checks
And you know the payroll ahead of time. We do know what payroll
What I'm
is.
saying is that if we have all under the same understanding that we're okay with passing this as a hand check, and we're not okay with passing other things as a hand check, that's problematic. There needs to be one system across the board. And if it's just going to be payroll, then that needs to be put in a policy. If it's going to include other things besides that, that needs to be put in a policy. But we cannot, it would be it would be ridiculous of us to look at the way we've done things for I can only speak for the last 10 years, and then all of a sudden say, we're not gonna do it this way, until there's formal, black and white, written policy that says we're not going to. So, all I'm saying is, there's a motion in the second on the floor. We talked about this exact accounts payable, these exact figures for now. This is the third conversation that we're having. You're either gonna vote no, or you're gonna vote yes.
Trustee.
And it's gonna fail. So can I call, what is it that I read last week? Call for vote, or call for order, or?
You can call order, I have no problem, but I'm asking a question. When you do something differently and expand, you get the same results. What, I mean, you.
That is the definition of insanity.
There you go. So why should we keep doing this? You said until we get something in place. You go around the corner, somebody hits you upside the head with a baseball bat. Every time you go around that corner, you gonna keep going. You gonna change direction, and you gonna do it fast. All I'm saying is, and for the 15th time, I have a problem with voting on something that's already been paid.
And you have a problem voting on tonight's accounts payable since we're paying the employees.
We haven't got to accounts payable. This is immediate checks. Accounts payable is the next item. This is immediate checks. I have a problem with voting on immediate checks that we were not allowed to even discuss, get a copy of it before the board meeting. We didn't know anything. No one was polled. No one was asked, should we pay this? Or is this a good decision? Should we pay that? That wasn't asked at the last time we voted on accounts payable. Because there was no accounts payable. It was all immediate checks. This is accounts payable. All immediate checks are not accounts payable. I don't know why it should be even headed that way, because it's not. They have been paid. If a person goes on immediate check, they got their money.
Mr. Mohan, you hear the board tonight. I think we better consider from now on our employees how they get paid. Because just as the village clerk says she refuses to sign any more checks until the board approves it, that means our employees will go twice a month without getting paid through the village board the whole time. Be careful what you ask for.
You're being ridiculous.
Because you can't have it your way.
That's not my way.
What you are saying, trustee.
It's not my way.
Trustee, what you are saying is you will pick and choose.
I didn't say that. No, I did not say that.
And tonight we have on the accounts payable employees and benefits that have already been paid. But you have a problem paying other things that have already been approved.
On both sides. I did not say I did not. Just because you say it, so don't mean it is.
Point of order.
I did not say
Again.
Trustee.
Again. 2 weeks ago, this was presented.
Point of order, please, for a vote.
It was.
Village clerk, please call roll.
Mr. Mayor, I still have a question.
I was still talking though, and I know I was told to shut up by an audience member, but the fact of the matter remains is, it came up 2 weeks ago, we asked for clarification, we got verbal, a week later, we got written. You're going to vote yes or no, or abstain, or present, or purple, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter remains is that when your name is called, every trustee up here is going to make a vote. It's going to pass or it's going to fail. Nothing is going to change with back and forth conversation until there's a policy. There can't be a policy until the Budget Finance Committee is allowed to meet. And even then, it still has to go be prepared and it has to be voted on. So again, we just have a vote.
Trustee, you just got to saying it will either pass or fail. If it fails, what happens? You pull the checks back? What happens? You pull the checks back if it fails?
I guess we'll follow that when it happens. That means there's a call for a vote.
No.
Go ahead.
Burgess.
No.
Jones.
No.
Myers is not here. Trustee Tate.
No.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
All right, motion fails.
Motion fails.
All right, move to item B, 6B.
Again, I ask for definite consideration because of what's just happening, and I know you're going to bring this up in 10 seconds when we go to accounts payable. How are we going to address the payroll and the liabilities that are already paid? I don't understand how we can handle with one. It looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I don't understand how payroll liabilities are going to be considered a duck, but the other immediate checks are a dinosaur.
We'll talk about here in a second. Let's go to the motion in a second and we have discussion.
The Budget Finance Committee meets soon.
Item 6B, motion to approve accounts payable disbursements for October 13th through October 27th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Couple of questions. I'm sorry, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a trustee. If you don't want me to watch your money, I'm sorry,
Trustee?
but I will do that.
Trustee, you have to press the
I wanted to bring your attention to pages 2. I guess that's page 1 also. 1 and 2, and also part of page 3. Under invoice number, it has a date instead of an invoice number. Why?
Because it doesn't have any more.
So we never had an invoice number for Skyline, we never had an invoice number for Verizon?
No.
Okay, just wanted to know, I didn't. And my second question, these entries that were written in, did this come after?
After it was generated, this came into Mike's office, so he has to handwrite everything.
So you added it to this accounts payable because we had enough money to pay them, and that was the reason?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Any other questions? Trustee Tate.
Pages 1 and 2. There are repairs for Ray's Auto Body, it's the repairs, Chief Car on one, and vehicle repairs on the other. Were these a result of vehicle accidents?
Yes.
Any reason why we were not informed?
Pardon?
Is there a reason why we were not informed?
It happened quite a long time ago, probably. I know, like the chief's car that happened under Deputy Chief Salisbury had an
Please, just
accident.
one at a time.
Deputy Chief's car had an accident, the board was aware of that one. I don't know about this other one.
The other one was Asda.
Oh.
That was involved in the accident, and we got about 3 quotes. Of the 3 quotes, we selected only lower quote, and we got it prepared, and we got the reimbursement from the insurance company.
When did this occur?
Probably quite a few months ago.
Why was the board informed?
The board was informed.
No.
Trustee Tate, I'll try to find the minutes with the rest of the director who spoke when there was an accident.
Very good.
And the board, and there's got to be an email when the deputy chief had an accident.
Third page, for ESDA, the figures don't add up. It says total ESDA $4,855.25. When you add the figures up for ESDA, it does not come up to $4,000. What am I missing? I don't care who it is. The first figure on the ESDA is $2,580. Then you have $363.05.
Right.
$385.55.
Right. Plus 303 plus 3,860.60. All before.
What was the 3,860.64? There's no explanation across with that figure.
38606.0 E&T auto body shop invoice. The total of all four.
Can you use the mic, please?
The total of all 4 invoices comes to $4,855.25.
So there are 2 entries for the body shop. I see one entry of $388.85. I don't see any explanation for the $3,855.
The total comes to $4,855.25. The total of $2,580 plus $363.05 is $388.85. $388.85 plus $3,860.60 is $4,855.25.
Okay, again, the 386060, $3,860.60.
Correct.
There's nothing written in what that was for.
That is for ENT automotive vehicle repairs. The total invoice price is $3,860.60.
So as I said, there are true entries for that one item. And for the municipal order, we have to pay an extra $25.50.
Yes. That is for the actuarial report. It is part and parcel of the audit expenses.
And I asked about this once before, because the last few accounts payable had a lot of handwritten entries. The totals were lined out and new figures were entered.
Correct.
And when I asked that question, it said sometimes the program usually doesn't add up.
Correct. It does. One, for example, one for MFT expenditure, we have striking off $374,000 invoice. We paid only $198,000. It's the same way. Whenever you get an invoice and we are going to pay partial payment, we will have to handwrite and strike off the incorrect amount or write the correct amount. The software is not equipped to change those changes.
Then this question was Mr. Fairman. Is there something we can do to get him the proper programs or whatever he needs to do this more efficiently?
If the board would approve purchase of it, we certainly could get some quotes on it.
What's the cost?
We don't know. We got to get some, well, just saying, we got to get some quotes on it. So
Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask the board to approve something we don't even know what it's going to cost. That's all.
Any other trustees? All right, hearing none, we have motion second on the floor. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Myers. Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
All right, motion carries. Move to miscellaneous comments from the mayor and board of trustees. Start with trustee Williams.
Have we gotten any closer to the budget finance committee? And what's going on with that?
I am. Let's talk about this when we walk out. Okay. Anything else? Trustee Tate?
The only thing I have, and haven't provided copies yet. I will have copies for you. I'll put them on the table. If you get a chance to stop up during the week, I'll pick them up. And it's for another Veterans Counseling session, which will be held on November 7th in Munster, Indiana. All the bikers, it's going to be held at Calumet, Harley, and Davidson. So you know where that is. And just a real short note, at Trustee Burks' meeting last year, I met a vet who I gave him my number and that type of thing, and he contacted me and we worked on the issue. He had been fighting the VA for 6 years to get payment for his service-connected disability. So I joined him and his grandchildren, and we goofed around with the VA for a while. And finally, I had a suggestion that we sue the VA because they were doing things completely wrong, I thought. And evidently they did too. Once I met with the VA, I met with them twice, told them what our intentions were, with the family's approval, that we were going to sue them. He called me in August. He received a partial payment for $4,200. He had been fighting this for 6 years. I don't know what his total payment is. I don't care. The thing is that if you go to this organization and get it started, and then you and whomever can work on it from there. Well, from that one example, it shows that the VA mind can be changed. Sometimes they don't do things completely correct, and you just have to have the initiative to do it. So I'll have these flyers out there. If you have issues with getting compensation, anything from the VA, medical treatment, go to this session. They'll help you out, and then you can just take it from there. So that was the one success story for the program. And these flyers will be out there and available to you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Jones.
Parks and Recs committee meeting will be November 5th at 7 p.m. The agenda will be posted. One of the things that we will be talking about, and it will be a toy giveaway. I have a date pretty much in my head, and we're gonna finalize it and then have flyers out and a sign-up sheet for the toys that were given to us. That date is in my head for the 19th. It will be held in the community center. And also, we will be finalizing and coming up with a pretty good map of what we're gonna do for the Christmas parade. And details will come out with that too. And that's it.
Trustee Jones, just so you know, our toy giveaway is December 17th, so if anybody's confused between yours and the one that Trustee Williams has talked about the last few weeks, they're going to be 2 days apart. So it might be a little bit confusing, but just so you know about that.
Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to remind the citizens to make sure that you be safe. My Block Club captains called me a lot on last week. There was a lot of activity going on throughout the village. I know that some people think that the neighborhood watch committee and the Block Club captains are the police. We are not the police. When my Block Club captains were offended at some of the things that they have heard and read, but very serious, life-threatening fatalities and incidents happened throughout the village, where it was asked, where was the neighborhood watch? That's not what we do. Our job is to inform the community of different things that's going on, and as far as keeping their front and back porch lights on to keep them safe, and to perform a venue for them to come and talk and to express about safety on this particular blocks. That's what the neighborhood watch perform, and their duties basically are the neighborhood watch and the Block Club captains are not the police. So it doesn't offend me personally, but for all of the 40 Block Club captains that I do have that walk and knock on doors in their neighborhood, where very serious fatalities happen in Sauk Village and people post and say, where was the neighborhood watch? And think it's a joke. People's lives are at stake. But I do want to remind the community to be safe during this time, particularly when you're getting out of your cars, going from your cars to your homes, especially you already have your keys out. Like I said, I've been getting a lot of phone calls over the last 2 weeks of different activities going on throughout the village. So just be safe and look around your surroundings and just be careful. And that was my report.
Thank you, Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mayor. I hope everyone has been publicized. And first of all, how many veterans do we have that's in the room right now? Could you raise your hands? How many veterans? Wow, that's not a lot. But we're giving a veteran celebration on the 11th of November at 11 o'clock here at the Village Hall. It'll be quite extensive. We have a little 2 guest speakers. When I say we, I mean me and Trustee Lieutenant Colonel Cecil Tate. I just looked that way to see if you raised your hand. You did, though, right? Oh, you did? Okay. But I want anyone that knows of a veteran that lives in the village, have them come out. I've got a few RSVPs, but I'm hoping that people still come out. I'm gonna try to attempt to put this on the bulletin board so we can pass it out, get the word out better. I don't know if Trustee, I'm sorry, Village Clerk, did you get the copy from did you get a copy for the Veterans Day? Yes. Yes.
No, not by email.
Yeah, I thought that was sent. We'll get one.
I beg your pardon, Trustee Burgess. My phone was stolen over the weekend, so I am kind of like, I'm not going to tell you 100%, and if it was sent.
So how would you want us to do it?
Well, I got my phone back. I mean, I have access to email now. So if you could send it to me, I'd be happy to send it.
Okay. And I would like, if you know of anybody in your family that's a veteran, please have them come up. And there'll be a short I guess you'd call it food service after the celebration. So please get the word out to everybody that we will have a Veterans Day, a Veterans Memorial celebration here. Also, Public Works meetings that same Wednesday at 7 o'clock here in the Village Hall. So please come out for that. That's open to everyone. And that's all that I have.
All right, thank you, Trustee.
Mayor, one thing before you close. I just noticed Mr. Ed Sullivan sitting out there, even though he has a Marine sweater. Is it possible he could add it to the agenda for next week so he can do his presentation? He's added to it for the Rose Bush. Mr. Sullivan.
All right. In closing, I see I've got the Metro Safety Poster Contest. This is their 10th annual. Make safety your focus. This is the 10th annual Metro Safety Poster and Essay Contest. Students from K through 12. The theme is Make Safety Your Focus. The deadline is January 29th, 2016. The poster contest awards are first, second, third place winners will be selected from each grade. Prizes, first place is iPads, second place is $250, third place is $100. Essay contest awards, our first place winner will be selected from 3 grade groups, elementary, middle school, and high school. And if you have more information, you can reach out to www.metrocontest.com. And this is sponsored by Operation Save Life. BW, if you would, please make sure that this gets hung up in the hallway. All right. Let's see here. I mentioned it earlier, but the the Church of God is having their trunk or treat also on the 31st. I didn't mention the times. It's from 11 to 2. So we have a full day of events going on. So you've got it there, and they come down here for the parade at Rickover, correct? Going all the way down here, and then they got trunk or treat back here till 4 o'clock, and then trick or treating from 4 to 6. So it should be a full day of kids running everywhere. So please be careful again. I know I said something earlier. There was a lot of talk tonight about checks and things that are being paid. And I just want to make sure that the village residents understand that, we pass budgets at the beginning of the year so the village can continue moving forward. Now, although the village board tonight voted not to approve these checks that have already been paid out, it has already been approved through the budget. And now the board is saying they don't want checks paid at all unless they approve it. Now, I tell you, again, as mayor, I abide by the board. And I can be honest with you, this last week, our benefits were not paid because this village board made a direction that no hand checks. And at the same time, they said that they no longer want consent. So if we still had consent and we still had hand checks, our benefits would have been paid on time. So they were not paid because I did not sign the checks because this village board said no hand checks and no consent. Now, I will also now look into this and I will go to the lawyers on this one because every 2 weeks we make payroll without village board approval. This board does not want any checks signed, and they don't want consent. So now I have to go to the attorneys and find out if I'm still within the rights to pay our employees prior to the village board approving it, since they already voted on it through a budget. So, again, I find myself sometimes confused by the actions of this board. I find myself that this board wants it one way, but not another way. So, you heard tonight how many times has accounts payable been sent to this board on checks that have already been paid. Well, I can tell you for sure every 2 weeks because there's payroll that's been paid every 2 weeks. I can tell you that things that have already been approved by the budget get paid and we pay them. So it's not happening anymore. You heard earlier tonight the village clerk said she refuses to sign checks anymore without making sure that they've been approved. So it's one way to stall the village to keep it from moving forward. But again, I will be reaching out to the attorneys and find out, because in my opinion, we still need to make sure we make payroll. But if the village board is directing me not to sign any more checks until they approve it, that's what will happen. And it puts our employees in a bad situation. So I think I'll be and we'll talk about it, I think I'll be in a position where I can still sign those checks, since the village board already approved it by budget, which I have no problem. But we'll make sure that legally we can do that, because, again, this board no longer wants consent, and this board no longer wants things paid unless they give approval. And I said last week, and I'll say it again, be careful what you ask for, because you may lose what you have. So with that said, also we've got the Meet the Mayor on November 14th. We've got a guest speaker coming in for the Meet the Mayor, so you want to make sure you mark that day down. So with that said, ask for a motion to adjourn. Got a motion, got a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. We got 35 cents.